Ever wondered how to make your cut flowers last longer than they usually do? We've all been there, admiring a beautiful bouquet only to find it wilting faster than we'd like. But fear not, because the secret to long-lasting cut flowers is not as elusive as you might think. It's all about knowing the right techniques, from the moment you select your blooms right up to their care and maintenance. In this video, we'll take you on a journey through the world of cut flowers, revealing tips and tricks that will ensure your bouquets stay vibrant and fresh for as long as possible. We'll delve into the art of flower selection, discuss immediate care practices, and even share some advanced tips that will elevate your flower care game to the next level. So if you're ready to transform your floral arrangements and keep them blooming for days on end, stay tuned to discover the art of flower selection and immediate care tips. Scene script. Selection is the first step to long-lasting cut flowers. But what should you look for? Well, just as you would inspect a piece of fruit or a vegetable at the market, it's essential to examine your blooms carefully. Let's start with the stems. They are the lifeline of the flower, transporting water and nutrients to the petals and leaves. Look for stems that are firm and upright with no signs of wilting or browning. If the stem is drooping or feels slimy, it's a sign that the flower is past its prime. Now let's move on to the leaves. They should be vibrant and robust with no signs of yellowing or browning. A healthy leaf is a good indicator of a healthy flower. If you see any leaves that are wilted, discolored, or falling off, it's best to choose another bloom. The petals are the crowning glory of any flower. They should be bright and full, not drooping or wilting. Watch out for any brown spots or edges, which are signs of decay. Also, the petals should be firmly attached. If they fall off when you gently touch the flower, it's a clear sign that the bloom is past its prime. A great tip to remember is to choose flowers that are not fully opened yet. Blooms that are still in bud form or only partially opened will last longer as they have more time to bloom and mature. Also, don't forget to use your nose. Fresh flowers often have a pleasant, natural scent. If the flowers smell musty or overly strong, it could be a sign that they're old. Lastly, pay attention to the water in the florist's bucket. If it's clear, it's a good sign. But if it's cloudy or smells bad, the flowers might not be fresh. Remember, every flower is unique, and what works for one might not work for another, but these general guidelines will help you choose the freshest, most vibrant blooms. With these tips, you'll always pick the freshest blooms, but what do you do when you bring them home? Stay tuned as we delve into the immediate care steps for your newly acquired cut flowers in the next segment. You've chosen your flowers. Now what? Let's dive into immediate care. Once you've got your fresh cut flowers home, it's time to get them settled into their new environment. And the first thing you're going to want to do is to give those stems a fresh cut. Why? Well, think of it like this. The ends of the stems have been out of water for a while, and they've essentially sealed themselves off, much like a wound on your skin would. By cutting them at an angle, you're opening up a fresh pathway for water to travel up the stem and hydrate the flower. Plus, the angled cut increases the surface area for water absorption. Next, let's talk about the vase. It's not just a pretty container for your flowers, it's their new home. And just like any home, it needs to be clean. Any bacteria or fungi lingering in your vase can speed up the decaying process of your flowers, so make sure you clean it thoroughly before use. Now, onto the water. You might be tempted to fill your vase with ice-cold water thinking it'll be refreshing for your flowers. But hold on a second, most flowers prefer lukewarm water. Around room temperature is perfect. It's easier for them to absorb and it won't shock their systems. There are exceptions, of course. Some flowers, like bulb flowers, think tulips or daffodils, do prefer colder water. But as a general rule, lukewarm is your best bet. And don't just fill your vase to the brim. The water level should cover about half to 2/3 of the stem length. Any more than that, and you risk rotting the stems. Any less, and your flowers might not get enough hydration. So, there you have it. Cut your stems at an angle, use a clean vase, and choose the right water temperature. Simple steps, but oh so important in keeping your flowers vibrant and fresh. These initial steps set the tone for your flowers' longevity. But what about their nutrition? Like us, flowers need proper nutrition. Let's talk about water and food. Picture this. You're a flower, fresh cut and standing tall in a vase. You've been uprooted from your natural source of nutrients, but you still need that nourishment to thrive. That's where water and food come in. First, let's talk about water. It's not enough to just fill a vase and forget about it. The water needs to be changed regularly. Why, you may ask? Well, bacteria love stagnant water, and these bacteria can block the flower's water uptake, causing them to wilt prematurely. So, make it a habit to change the water every 2 to 3 days. Now let's move on to food. You've probably seen those little packets that come with bouquets. That's flower food, a mix of sugar, acidifiers, and bleach. Sugar is the energy source. Acidifiers help water flow up the stem, and bleach keeps the water clear of microbes. But what if you run out of those packets or you've picked your own flowers? Don't worry, you can whip up some homemade flower food. Here's a simple recipe. Take a quart of water, add a teaspoon of sugar, a teaspoon of bleach, and 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. Voila! You have a DIY flower food that will nourish your blooms. The sugar provides energy, the bleach fights off bacteria, and the lemon juice helps the water travel up the stem faster. Now remember, the key to a long-lasting bouquet is balance. Too much sugar can encourage bacterial growth, and too much bleach can harm the flowers. Stick to the recipe and you'll strike the right balance. And one last thing, make sure to remove any leaves that fall below the water line. They can rot and create a breeding ground for bacteria. With proper nutrition, your flowers will bloom longer, but where should you place them? Stay tuned as we delve deeper into the best locations and environments for your precious blooms in the next segment. Choosing the right location for your flowers is as important as their care. The environment in which you place your blooms plays a massive role in their longevity. Let's talk about light first. Just like us, flowers need light to thrive. But too much of a good thing can be harmful. Direct sunlight can cause your flowers to wilt prematurely. So, find a bright spot where your bouquet can bask in indirect light. Now, on to temperature. Flowers like it cool, not cold. A room that's too warm will speed up their aging process, while a chilly room can harm their delicate petals. Aim for a sweet spot, somewhere between 65 and 72 degrees Fahrenheit. Humidity is another key player in the flower longevity game. Flowers love a good dose of humidity, but too much can lead to mold. So try to keep the humidity level around 40 to 60%. And remember, avoid placing your flowers near fruit. Ripening fruit emits ethylene gas, which can shorten the lifespan of your blooms. Also, keep your flowers away from drafts, whether it's from an open window or an air conditioning vent. These can cause dehydration, leading to wilting. Lastly, don't forget about cleanliness. A clean environment is a happy environment for your flowers. Regularly dust the area around your bouquet and keep the vase sparkling clean. By considering these factors, your flowers will thrive. Ready for some advanced tips? Ready to become a flower care expert? Let's delve into some advanced tips. To begin with, recutting the stems every few days can do wonders for longevity. This allows the stem to take in more water, keeping the blooms hydrated and vibrant. Use a sharp pair of scissors and cut at a 45-degree angle for optimal water intake. Next, make sure to remove any leaves that are below the waterline. This will prevent bacterial growth, which can shorten the lifespan of your flowers. Simply pluck or trim off these leaves as soon as you notice them. Lastly, don't forget the power of a good misting. Flowers love humidity, and a quick spritz of water can mimic the moist air of a greenhouse. Just a gentle mist in the morning can keep your flowers looking fresh and full of life. With these advanced tips, your cut flowers will last longer than ever before. Let's recap the key points for making your cut flowers last longer. Start with selecting the freshest blooms, then immediately care for them upon arrival. Change water regularly, feed your flowers, and choose the best location considering light, temperature, and humidity. Don't forget advanced care tips like recutting stems, removing lower leaves, and misting. Embrace the joy and beauty these well-cared-for flowers bring into our lives. Remember, a little extra care goes a long way in extending the life and beauty of your cut flowers. Enjoy your vibrant, long-lasting bouquets.